Sensuality is also how you show up. You know, you're sassy, you know, you're feeling yourself, you're smelling good, you're looking good, you know, you got your mojo going on.
Hi guys, Stella Ringer here, your Chief of Aging Fabulous, and I can't believe we're at season 2 of our podcast, Zeal, Aging Redefined, the podcast, where we will continue to inspire women 40 plus to age with boldness, confidence, and kick-ass positivity. And you know, during the podcast, you guys already know we talk about a plethora of things as it relates to this aging journey. And sex is one of the most important things. And the guest that we have today, Miss Stefani Hughes, and that's Stephanie with the F, not a PH. She's gonna give us some tips and tools as it relates to kind of keeping it 100 in the bedroom. So welcome,
Thank
Stephanie.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I had to get the F and not the PH.
I really appreciate that more than you will ever know. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate you being here, like I said. Thanks so much. And we're going to get into kind of what you do.
Okay.
But again, this is all about, I know that you are a marriage, kind of marriage, life, family, sex therapist.
That's me.
But we're going to focus on the sex
Okay,
today.
let's do it. Let's do it.
So tell us a little bit about your practice before we get into some of the questions.
Okay, so I have been practicing for 27 years.
Wow.
Right here in the lovely state of Georgia. I've moved around a little bit, but Georgia is my home. My practice is on the outskirts of Atlanta.
Okay.
And I see couples, whether they are married or in committed relationships, and I help them to enhance their relationship, get through some of the challenges that they may be experiencing, and have a healthy and a vibrant marriage. That's my goal, to see people happy, healed, and whole, and living their life to the fullest.
Awesome. And I know you mentioned earlier that, you know, you did a lot of the kind of marriage family counseling, and you kind of added sex to that based on, I guess, conversations that you had with your couples. So tell us about that, adding the sex.
So that's exactly how it started. When I initially started, my passion was couples. I come from a family that has had some layers of dysfunction, so I had a desire to help couples because I wanted people to be able to have healthy marriages. And as I worked with couples, what kept showing up in the room was challenges with sex. Sometimes sexual dysfunction, sometimes just a matter of pleasure, sometimes just a matter of education and understanding how to connect in an intimate way. And so from that, I also added on hypnotherapy because
now what's hypnotherapy?
So I want to really clarify.
I didn't know, y'all.
I want to clarify. So hypnotherapy is not what you see on TV. Let's just get that out of your head. Nobody's barking like a dog. Nobody's clucking like chickens. That is not hypnotherapy. That is entertainment. No shade to people who do entertaining hypnosis acts, but that's not what I do. I am a licensed clinician, certified and trained in hypnotherapy. And what it is used for is to help you to deal with things that may be going on in your subconscious and help to bring those to a conscious state so that you can get through some challenges that you might have. So I primarily do hypnotherapy for people who suffer with erectile dysfunction, people who have challenges with performance, maybe they have some performance anxiety. I help people who have experienced some sexual trauma in the past, and maybe that's getting in the way of their sexual performance. And so we would do some hypnotherapy to help them to reduce that anxiety and that challenge so that they can have an optimal sexual experience in the bedroom.
Awesome. Thank you. You explained that so beautifully.
Thank you.
Because, guys, I did ask Stephanie at the beginning, like, what's hypnotherapy? But now I know.
Good.
So
Good.
Thank you for explaining that. So let's get into a few things that we kind of talked about earlier before we went on camera here as it relates to just women as we're going through the aging journey and our sexual journey as well. We all understand that there may be times as it relates to either perimenopause or menopause, or it may not even have anything to do with menopause. But at the end of the day, sometimes again, we're trying to kind of figure it out as we age, because we lose estrogen.
Right.
We understand that there's kind of vaginal dryness, etc. So there are a plethora of things that we may go through, but I also know there are ways, of course, to kind of help with that as well. So what have you experienced as it relates to kind of women, and let's just say the menopause piece and the bedroom?
Okay. So for me, it's the first challenge is it's challenging to talk about.
Yes.
Not a lot of people want to accept that their body is changing, and they definitely don't want their partner to be less interested in them. So it kind of gets swept under the rug.
Yes.
So the first tip that I would offer is that you do have to talk about it. You have to maintain a level of intimacy and vulnerability in your relationship to be able to simply deal with whatever the challenge is.
Yeah.
Vaginal dryness is one of the things that happen for some women, not for all women.
Right.
But if you are noticing that you're having some discomfort during sexual intercourse, you need to check in with your OBGYN. I was laughing with my own OBGYN recently, and she was, just going down the checklist, and she's like, so when's the last time you had your pap smear? And I was like, for what? I'm in menopause. And she was like, you still have to go to the OBGYN, Stephanie. That's important. We still need to check in there. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, no problem. I got it. But we need to check in. We need to have a conversation. I think that's the biggest thing. Have a conversation. And most women have an OBGYN that kind of has been with them through the course of life. So a level of rapport is established where you can have that conversation.
Agree. Yeah, I've been going to my OBGYN for years, like you said, 20 plus years. So I'm very comfortable having conversations with him. So I agree. You got to have the conversation. Whether you're going through menopause or not, as it relates to kind of the sexual challenges you might have, I think it's always great to have the conversation with your partner so everybody's on the same page, and so they're not thinking in their mind, well, what's going on here? You're not interested. What's going on? So definitely agree the communication is key. So let's talk about, because I've always wanted to kind of figure this one out too. Talk about kind of almost like preparing for sex, right? So I've always wanted to make sure I was clear on being sensual versus sexual. So can you share that with us?
So sensual is the mindset. Sexual is the act. Sensual should start when you wake up in the morning. There should be some thoughts around your attractiveness to your partner, what some of your fantasies, things that you would like to explore, even your curiosities. So those are things that can be discussed throughout the day. And then when you connect, that's sensuality all through the day. And then when you connect in the evening or whenever you guys come back together, you can actually do the acts, which would be foreplay, which would be any type of play, and then actual sexual intercourse. And the aftermath, too. I think people forget about that part. But there should be an aftermath, just like that. I forgot the name of the movie, but there was a movie where the people had sex, and then afterwards it was like, you feel really great afterwards. Gold star for Marcus. So that is the aftermath, and that's still an experience that you can have during sex. So it's all of that comes together. Sensuality is also how you show up. You're sassy, you're feeling yourself, you're smelling good, you're looking good, you got your mojo going on. And so that's what enhanced you to make that text, to, put that eggplant emoji out there, to put those little juice drops out there.
See, now I didn't even know. So I'm bad.
I gotta school you.
I didn't even know about the eggplant. Emoji. Okay, what's up on the eggplant?
So the eggplant emoji is indicative of a penis. So it's unassuming, but assuming.
Okay.
Because it has girth.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so that is your way to let your partner know that,
like we're about to get it on.
Yeah.
Look for some emojis out. Look for some emojis. I love that though. I mean, I don't think like when you wake up in the morning, I think that's a good recommendation as you think about, well, you know, you're excited about your partner, but I guess I've never really gotten up in the morning to say, okay, how am I going to like play this out so tonight, you know, like it's going to be even better because again, we've almost kind of foreplayed throughout the day.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same thing if you were preparing your favorite meal. What's your favorite dish?
Oh, my favorite dish is, oh God, I have so many. I would say salmon is prepared really nicely and flavorful.
Okay, so when you go to the market to get the salmon, you don't just bring it home and say, voila. No, you have to prepare it. Yeah. You have to season it with the appropriate seasonings. Then you have to decide if you're going to use the air fryer, you're going to use the smoker, you're going to use the oven, and there's a temperature time that needs to be on there. And so you prepare it to your particular temperature, and then you bring it out and you plate it with some other items. You don't usually just eat the protein by itself.
Right.
You put some other items with that, and that makes your delicious meal.
I love the way you explain that. Okay.
And so it's the same thing with sex and sensuality. You have to put it all together, and when you plate it,
it's time to go.
Gold star.
It's time to go. So what tips can we give women that may feel, because again, I did a lot of focus groups before I started Zeal on all topics, right? Because I wanted to make sure that I was sharing what people are wanting to know, what women are wanting to know, 40 plus. And some women basically said, hey, from a sexual standpoint, you know, I may have gained a little weight or things have changed as I'm going through this aging journey, so I'm not as comfortable in front of my partner anymore. What are some tips that we can share? You know, you're beautiful regardless, but again, those were some of the comments. Like, I'm feeling a little, like I'm not as confident in the bedroom since I'm going through a few of these changes.
So I think the first thing is for you and your partner to continue to have conversation, continue to be vulnerable with one another. Ask your partner, what is it that you still are attracted to about me? Is it my legs? Is it my breasts? And whatever comes out of that discussion, then we know we're going to enhance that. If it's our cleavage, then we're going to highlight that. We might, when we have date night, we might add a little glitter dust there so we can keep his eyes on, you know, what he's saying he's attracted to. The next thing is you got to be willing to be open. What you might have been able to do when you were 20 or 30, you know, because, you know, you have a little more curvage on you, a little more junk in your trunk, you might not be able to drop it up and lift it down as easy as you did before. But that's
lift it up, drop it down.
You might have to get you a little help sometimes. But there are so many wonderful positions out there. The app that I swear by is called 69. And I told a Sunday school class about this app recently.
She told a Sunday school class.
Yes, someone invited me to their couples Sunday school class. And I told them about the app, and they said, don't you mean 96 because of inflation? You get it? No, you don't get it. So I said 69. They said 96 because it's inflation. But the point is, get the app. It allows you to put in your age, your sexual experience level, of course, whether you are male or female, and then it comes up or it compiles a list of sexual positions that may be good for you. Then you and your partner can look through those, and they have diagrams, so it's very self-explanatory. And you can try some new positions that work for your age group, your weight, your body type, and you can explore some different things.
Wow. So what's the app again?
It's called 69.
69.
69.
Had no idea.
Yes. And I really want to make sure that I reiterate that sex doesn't stop just because you're past 40 and because you're 50 and 60. It gets better. I'll be 55 in April. It gets better. But yes, just like your marriage as a whole, you have to work at it. You have to be willing to figure out what works for you, figure out your voice, and be able to use your voice to advocate for what you need in the bedroom.
Yeah. Like you said, that communication piece is so key.
It's
and
vital.
I think as we mature, we do get more confident. It seems like we get more confident in all other things.
Right.
And then once it gets to kind of the bedroom and either our body or
Right.
whatever it is, it's like, you know,
We want
I
to
may
get
not
shy.
be- Yeah.
Or we're
Yeah.
reserved. And that comes a lot from our upbringing, especially in our generations. You know, not a lot of sex talk was had.
That's
you
true.
know, and so we don't have a compass with which to gauge that conversation. But if you work at it, you can have anything you want.
That's right. That's right. Let's talk about the physical movement enhancements
Okay.
of sex, if you will.
Okay.
So we know that just any physical movement is great, whether you're aging or not, right?
Right.
Whether that's running, hiking, swimming, gym, whatever. But sex is a form
Of exercise.
of exercise and keeping your blood flowing. So tell us about that and the importance that, you know, that's just another good thing, y'all.
Yeah,
Physical movement.
So, yes, you got to keep moving, and that goes back to exploring new things. You have to be willing to explore different positions, different places, so that you can keep the blood flowing, and so that you can have enjoyable sex. One of my biggest examples is, you know, once we get older, some people end up having challenges with their hips and their knees. And so they can't quite do doggy style like they used to.
Okay.
But let me tell you a trick. Go to Walmart, get you an exercise ball. They have them in varying sizes depending on the weight that you want to put on the ball. So you and your partner decide, you know, your weight, and you get the ball that's going to hold your weight. This is going to take pressure off of the hips, pressure off of the knees, so you can still be able to do doggy style, and you'll be able to get up afterwards. You won't be like, oh my Lord, this was good, but we can't do this but once a year. So this is going to give you an opportunity to enjoy that experience. It's going to give you an opportunity to really get your cardio going, because the ball is going to help with your movement. So you don't have to do as much. The ball is going to do the work. You just kind of guide the ball for where it is that you want to go. And you're going to have fun. Because guess what? The first time you do it, you're going to fall. But you're going to laugh so hard at each other. But you're going to be like, this might work. And it's going to get you going. And you're going to try something new. And you're going to have a whole new apparatus. And if the grandkids or the kids come in, nobody has to know that this is what this is used for. All that when they ask you, what's this in here for? Because I was exercising.
Right.
Now go sit down.
I love it. Stephanie is so informative, but yet so eloquent about it. So
I thank you.
I love it, love it, love it. Now, I also know that you also promote, as we think about new experiences, as we age, we may need to try some different things to kind of alleviate hip or whatever it might be. But I know you also kind of promote toys.
Yes, I do.
There's, you know, these new experiences with toys.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Well, toys are nothing but an enhancement to your experience. I want to also demystify the thought. A lot of men feel like you shouldn't have a toy because that's going to replace them. Nothing can replace a human being. It's impossible.
Yes.
It's absolutely impossible. And there are some great toys out there, but nothing will ever replace human connection. But they can be great enhancers. They can help you to figure out what are the hot spots on your mate so that you can enhance that experience for them. So, and there are all kinds of toys. Not all of them penetrate. Do you know the difference between a dildo and a vibrator?
No.
Okay, great. So
I thought it was the same.
No, they're not the same. So a dildo is the model of a penis. So it has no mechanical function. So you can have a glass dildo, you can have a silicone dildo, you can have a plastic dildo. a vibrator has mechanical function. So it's going to have apparatuses on it that actually vibrate. And if you're shopping for a toy and you're trying to see what might work for you and you are not as experienced, you want to put it on your nose. This is the place on your body that is almost equivalent to clitoral stimulation. So this little area right here. So
breaking news.
Yes.
Touch the nose.
Touch the nose with the vibrator to see if that intensity works for you. And then you can determine if that might be the right toy. Because everybody doesn't want, some people just need a little brush.
Wow.
And again, it just depends on your body. So you want to figure that out before you go investing in a toy. But I think they're great to enhance your experience.
So how do you share with couples like how they can even communicate with their partner on, well, let's try something a little different, or
so it really depends on the couple. So when they sit before me, I kind of feel their energy out, see what their comfort level is. So sometimes I might shift my language because not everybody can hear the word penis and be okay. Now, I'm not into playing games. I think that we are seasoned adults, so I'm not calling things wee-wees and cocos.
no wee-wees.
But I will find the language in meeting with them that works for them, that doesn't cause offense. And then I will throw out a couple of ideas. And I really put myself into the situation to kind of help ease any anxiety that might be felt when we're having the conversation. And I ask permission. When we're having the conversation, I say, is it okay if we go a little deeper? No pun intended. And that kind of breaks the ice. And then we can get there. And then I say, I have a couple of suggestions. You don't have to take them, but here are a couple of suggestions. Would you be interested in just hearing them? And it's so funny if I start sharing what a toy might do. The husband usually is like,
what is she talking about?
So it does what now? And the lady is like, you're so crazy. But she's listening, and that's all I want. And by the end of the conversation, they're like, so put that in a bag for us. We're going to take that with us.
And then do they whisper?
Yes, they do. They do, especially when I'm doing like marriage conferences. And I usually bring toys with me. And so word has gotten around the marriage conference, the sex lady is here. And so I have a store usually set up, and they will not, when we're in there and I'm doing some demonstrations, they're not going to say much. They're going to come back around usually during lunchtime. And then they're going to say, bag that up.
Like, let me go to the restroom. Hey guys, I'm going to the restroom, and then they come to you.
Yes. So I have discreet packaging for that reason. So nothing is blaring, this came from Stefani Hughes. It's just an unassuming black plastic bag, for them to take back to their hotel room and enjoy each other, because that's the goal.
Enjoy each other.
Yes.
Enjoy each other.
Yes.
And why do you feel, though, Stefani, that you kind of mentioned it before, we need to always communicate and talk about sex? Why do you think it's not, I guess, appropriate, I think some people may feel, for us not to just talk about it? Because God made it, but I know society has kind of put some constraints on it as well. But what are your tips around just being open and having the conversation, even just with your partner, because some people aren't as comfortable there?
I think that you hit the nail on the head. I do think that society, and honestly, I think church too. I think that the church culture or the faith culture has put it out there that we shouldn't express ourselves in a sexual way, that makes us less of a Christian, that makes us more worldly, when in fact, good sex is our portion. Which is the name of my next book. God gave me that because God created us not just to procreate, but to have experiences that would be enjoyable and pleasurable. He made the bedroom, the marriage bed, undefiled. And so it
Preach,
is,
girl.
Yes.
Preach.
So it is for us to be able to experience and enjoy. That is God's gift to us. Marriage is a gift. And so we are entitled and we have a responsibility to enjoy it to its fullest. I remember when I was younger in my marriage, I felt very comfortable with my pastor. And I just asked him, I was like, so what, I'm just confused. What can the married people do and what can they not do? I just need to know, like, can I swing from the chandelier or am I going to hell for doing that? I just need to know.
Yeah.
And he so gently responded and said, anything that you and your partner want to do in your bedroom is ordained by God. Go forth. Go forth, Stephanie. And I said, that's all I need.
And Stephanie went and bought her a chandelier.
I did.
Right after that
I did. A chandelier, a pole. Like, we got it all. Yeah. We got it all. And, and that's the other thing, too. That doesn't make me a freak. Exactly. It just makes me sexually liberal. And I want to live my life and die empty in every area.
Yeah.
I want my husband to be pleased. I want to please my husband inside and out of the bedroom. Yes. I was laughing. We took a picture recently, just a little snapshot that I wanted to have. And I laughed. I got chuckled when I looked at the picture because he had his hand on my booty. And I was like, oh, you like that, don't you? You like that? Okay, then. So that lets me know, make sure I got that tight because he likes a little booty. Yeah.
And see, you guys are still doing those types of things.
Absolutely.
Even though, like you said, you'll be 55 soon.
Yes.
So it's okay, y'all. It's okay. It doesn't stop, once we get a certain age. Now, if there are medical things, yes, like you said, please go to your physician and there are people that can help. But it's a lovely thing.
Yeah, and you still can have a fulfilling sex life. Yes, you might have to do some modifications, but sex doesn't have to stop because you're over 40 or 50. Yeah. It shouldn't. Yeah. It shouldn't. You should never become roommates. Like, how is that going to be fun? Yeah. How is it going to be sustainable? Yeah. I want to enjoy it.
I do too. I enjoy it. I want to continue.
Amen.
To enjoy
I love it. I want to continue to enjoy it. Whatever we got to do, let's get it done.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. So what's your last tip for the viewers and listeners? Again, around the aging journey, again, we've already said it doesn't have to stop. Just like, you love your husband to still put his hand on your bottom.
Yeah.
Like, even though that happens at 20, it can happen in your 50s
Absolutely.
As well. But as we think about, you even mentioned, I like the word when you said sexual liberation. So what would be kind of your last tip around that for viewers and listeners as we think about this wonderful thing that sometimes we sweep under the rug because we don't want to talk about it?
Give yourself permission to explore. Give yourself permission to explore. And even if you're scared, do it scared. But at least try.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here,
It's been my
Stephanie.
honor and pleasure.
You will have to have Stephanie back because, like I said,
I would love to.
She has so much. We actually went to a conference, and that's how I met Stephanie and her husband as well. We went to a conference through our church, actually, and it was all about the sex lady is here. And the session was awesome.
Thank you.
It was. I mean, we learned some new stuff. Al will get me if I tell all our business, but
Don't tell the business.
We tried some new and
I'm so glad. So some of the things, good.
Yeah. So, but I need to go to, what is it? The app 69.
You need to get the app 69.
Okay, I'm gonna go there because like I said, never knew.
Okay.
So, but thank you again. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Well, Zeal family, now this was a topic today. I learned even more from Stephanie. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you tune in wherever you get your podcast every week because we're talking about all things around this aging journey. So Zeal, Aging Redefined, your go-to for aging fabulous. See ya.